Hey friends, welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs. Looking to freshen up your happy hour with cocktail recipes that are sure to impress? You'll find it all at specsonline.com. David Nuno with the Fan Show, guys. Kevin, Roy, got Caitlin there. All right, guys, favorite part of the show? Kevin.
Favorite part of the show?
Yeah, hard question, I know.
Yeah.
Yourself, you can say it. It's fine.
No, I always enjoy Bronny. I think Bronny does such a good job of talking baseball.
You'd be the one who would say that, the only one. Roy, just kidding, Bronny. We love you. Roy?
Probably McGee today.
McGee?
Yeah.
Masters McGee?
Yes.
Masters of the...
Speaking my language.
Yeah,
of the Coffee Act?
You go McGee and Chadwell.
And Caitlin, what was your favorite part?
The fan show, of course.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I really liked Mark Weaver in here today.
The Dream Weaver.
Yeah.
I loved him. By the way, Coach Earley was on the show. Everybody fails for not saying him. And Aaron Torres. Everybody wins for not saying him. That and more. I'm kidding, Aaron. It's the TexAgs Rewind. When you looked at Marcel as the season developed, did he have more of a mastery of the pocket?
I thought the Bowling Green first drive was one of the best drives I've seen Marcel Reed play. I thought he looked like he could win the Heisman on that drive. And then obviously the LSU game, he had the explosive plays with his legs. But, it's hard to say. LSU came in the game preparing for Connor, and then, they flipped the switch in the second series of the second half. And certainly it changes the dynamics of what you're going to do defensively when Marcel's out there versus Connor. I'm not going to put it all in that. He played phenomenally well. But I think that there were highs and lows. I think that's true of any young quarterback, that you're going to have really, really high moments and some low moments. And I think he's got to develop as a passer. I think he's got to prove that he can. The Bowling Green first drive, number one was there consistently. Number one is there. Like, hey, I'm throwing triple seam and it's single high zone. Well, yeah, that's bread and butter. That's exactly what you want to dial up for that. So I know I'm going to have my seam 18 and 22 right in the middle of those safety in the corner. Great. But what if it's not there?
Yep.
Right? Now I have to react. Now I'm going outside and progressing on to 2, down to my back on time. Right? It's got to be in rhythm. And that's where I think a lot of young quarterbacks struggle is they hold on the ball. They try to force it, right? Like the Texas game. So I thought, yeah, Texas has a great defense, but we got to be better at the quarterback position if we're going to win those types of games. And so extremely high ceiling. I think we all agree that.
Yeah.
The dude can play, right? But the steps for me are going to be him as a passer and progressing, getting through reads. I think that's a big thing for him.
How much better were you at that in 2006 as opposed to 2005?
I wasn't very good at any of them. Bad was bad.
Come on.
And it got a little bit worse.
You're a fourth-round draft choice. You're a fourth-round draft choice.
Were you more comfortable?
Oh, I would say the biggest jump I took as far as comfort level, I think, was the spring of my sophomore year, going into my sophomore year, right? So very similar time as what Marcel's going. Like I took and I knew I was the starter going into the offseason, right? So
that makes a big difference, knowing you're going to
be you're confident, you're ready to go. Like, this is your team.
Yeah, I heard you talk yesterday about Paul Maneri and how much you kind of revere him. Don't know him that well, but just what he did at LSU. Now he's back in the league at South Carolina. Just your overview on the Gamecocks and how excited are you to see a guy that you recruited and signed and a guy that I think, Max Coffer left a pretty good impression, or great impression, in fact, on a lot of people in College Station. He was such a good kid. But how excited are you to see Max? And then tell us a little bit about the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I mean, I love Max to death, man. I remember the last time I talked to him before he committed there, it was just, all positive. He left here on such a high note. And a kid that's spent the last 2 Easters at my house. He's been out of town. So I'll make sure I talk to him after game 3. Give him a hug. So, yeah, I'm real excited. And I think a lot of guys are excited to see him, too. He's a really exceptional kid. And, yeah, I mean, speaking on Paul Maneri, obviously a legendary coach and has done some amazing things in college baseball. And got a chance to meet him a couple times and just was really, really nice. Texted me when I got the job. So nothing but respect for him and his program and the things he's done. And nothing but respect for their team. So they're going to throw out a couple of left-handers to start off. And they got Petrie in the lineup, who's one of the better hitters in the country, and they're like any other SEC team. I don't care how they're playing. If you play bad, at any moment you can get beat. So they can do a lot of different things. And they got some guys that I think are struggling a little, but can really run the ball at the ballpark when they want to. So it's going to be about us playing our game and playing clean baseball, throwing strikes, taking balls, swinging at strikes, taking advantage of situations, taking extra bases, and just playing how we've been playing. And when we do that, I really like us in a lot of matchups.
Hey, AT, let's talk about Bucky. Look, I don't know how much you knew about him. You watch a lot of college basketball. You might have known a lot. I don't know. But it's interesting how I feel like people have started to change their opinion. And I think not just here locally at Aggie Land, but there was this Chris Beard thought. And then people are like, oh, you go after a guy, like, come on. He hasn't even coached at this level. And you hear him talk. You hear his resume. You see what he does. He's made Feinbaum a believer. He's made Aggie Land a believer. What do you think so far?
Yeah, it was really funny, actually. I was speaking on a panel last Friday, and it was a day-long event, and like 3 panels after me, Bucky McMillan was supposed to speak, and it was a no-show, and we figured out pretty quickly where things were going. So, David, I just go back to what I said to you last week when Buzz left, or maybe it was the week before, I can't remember, is I said basically when these jobs open now, I don't need the quote-unquote biggest name that's done this and da-da-da-da. What I need is the guy that fully understands this is where we are in college sports. This is where it's going, and this is what I need to accept as the reality. I'll give you an Aggie Land example. One of the reasons I didn't love one of the many reasons I didn't love the idea of Texas A&M pursuing Mark Stoops in football was I was like, this guy's run from the same playbook. It's not working at Kentucky, and he's going to try to use the same playbook at Texas A&M, and it's not going to work there either. And thankfully, you guys got out of that one, whatever. And so when Buzz Williams left, it's like, okay, if you can get Chris Beard, yeah, you got to get Chris Beard. But it's like, don't go get the 60-year-old dude, from wherever, just to say that you got a name brand. Get the guy that's young, that gets it, that has a plan for rev share, that has a plan for the portal. Again, I know I said this to you last week, David. Who was Todd Golden? And it was before he won a national championship, but it was like, who was Todd Golden when he got hired at Florida? But what we've since found out is he has a plan for the portal. He has a plan for rev share. He's very definitive in his beliefs in how you build a team in this era. And I thought A&M had to find that guy, and it could have been Bucky McMillan. It could have been somebody else.
I think a lot of where Feinbaum's coming from, too, is, I know he went to Tennessee, but he's obviously a big Alabama guy. And he saw Nate Oates. Yep. The Nate Oates project turned into the Nate Oates success story. And though we don't know what Bucky can build here or at a tier 1 institution, he's been coaching since he was 17, and he's built things everywhere he's gone. Yep. And I understand that doesn't necessarily translate, but and you'll just hear it ad nauseum that Nate Oates did the same thing, coming from high school, successful in college, plays a young, interesting, like fun, exciting brand of basketball. And hearing him say we're going to lead the nation in scoring, like that fires me up. I love it. I don't like slugfest in college basketball. I'd rather them just run and gun.
I'm going to talk out of 2 sides of my mouth. I want to see the highest scoring team in the country. I want to see an offensive team, especially after what we just saw. But I said in the top segment of the show, I don't care how you win if you win. If you win with a slug match, great. I just want to win, and I want to win consistently. And I don't want our teams being pretenders. I want us to be contenders, and that's to me what matters, Roy.
Well, and I think what's interesting, you saw a lot of people as soon as it was announced it was the hire. A ton of people that know a lot more about college basketball than me dove in and found articles and found videos all about Bucky ball, And what was interesting to me was his emphasis on offense, which I love, right? But also his emphasis on defense. Like, hey, we're going to press. So this is, I'm trying to find an offensive kind of comparison. But, I grew up watching 60 Minutes of Hell 40 Minutes of Hell with Nolan Richardson, those Arkansas teams.
Yep.
And so if you have the team with the kind of conditioning, ability, and talent to play high-flying, high-scoring basketball on one end, and be able to play that pressing defense on the back end, like I think we are going to see just basketball we've never seen before here. And I think it's going to be an absolute blast. I hope he can put the roster together to do it.
Yep.
And considering, Kevin, that A&M has never really been known as a basketball school, but if you're going to be in the SEC, you better be good at all sports, the big 3. Like you better, and it's not just being happy making the tournament; it's being happy making a run in the tournament. Kevin, do you remember what to tell the people to do? You're giving me that look like, oh no.
I do not have a clue
You don't
what you're talking
remember.
about. No.
What do you think they should do after they watch a YouTube video? Let's think about it.
Help me.
I don't know. Do you like watching videos?
I do.
Do you subscribe to videos ever?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think.
Yeah, I got you, dog.
You got it.
You got to like, subscribe, comment, and share.
You jumped a dog. I love it.
And on top of that, you know, they got the TexAgs app for iPhones.
Get the app.
You can download the Masters app as well this weekend.
Yeah, but do TexAgs first.
Well, yeah, in that order. That's fair.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So like, comment, and subscribe. You can do that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And share.
We'll do it. See you next time.